Coming up on Fulton today, county taxpayers weigh in on proposed adjustments in the 2012 millage rate. Hear what they have to say. And a longtime safety and environmental hazard in South Fulton is gone. Fulton Today is next.
From the Government Center in downtown Atlanta, you're watching Fulton Today with Shania Chavis.
Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis. Fulton County residents get their chance to weigh in on the 2012 millage rate. FGTV's Tiffany Harlow has our story.
One at a time, residents took to the podium in Assembly Hall to address the board on a myriad of issues, including the millage rate.
I am here today to oppose any increase in taxes and also to advocate ways of looking for reducing expenses.
Voting no on the proposed tax increase will keep us from sinking.
The Fulton County Finance Team and County Manager requested the board's approval of the 2012 tax resolution, which sets the millage rates. This year's staff recommendation was a millage rate modification, which would have reflected in an increase in taxes.
Commissioners, I move that we keep the millage rate at its current rate for 2012.
Some of my colleagues mentioned that they had constituents who were clamoring to have their taxes increased. I couldn't find any in my district. But I must say that there is not opposition to developing a policy of reasonable taxation for services in my district.
I too searched for anyone that might support a tax increase, and I couldn't find any either. But I would like to thank all of the people that did contact me and the rest of the commission. Nothing like a millage rate increase proposal to get the constituents' attention. So I appreciate the input and the suggestions that were made.
We have been good to Grady, and Grady has been good to the constituents. But it comes a time you got to make a choice. So I would suggest as we go in the future that we consider that we've done a lot for Grady Hospital. Now it's time for us to do something for ourselves.
In light of the economic downturn, the foreclosures that are occurring, how Fulton County has been hit the worst in the state of Georgia, and how other governments, city, school board, school systems, counties raising taxes, increasing their millage rate, but yet we have held ours. And I think it's noteworthy.
But I also want to take this opportunity to thank the citizens that contacted our respective offices, encouraging us to be mindful of the economy and where people are and to not increase the millage rate. This is a representative government, and I think the people have spoken on that. Thank you.
Let's vote, Commissioners.
Motion to keep the millage rate at the current rate of 10.281 for the general fund. The motion passes 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Fulton County has already responded to economic pressures by decreasing both expenditures and personnel. Commissioners fully realize that more measures will have to be taken to make up for additional revenue that finance experts say will be lost in 2013. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Tiffany Harlow.
Thank you very much, Tiffany. In other news, a long-time residential eyesore in South Fulton is gone. The county shut down the Summer Tree Condominiums complex in 2007 because of hundreds of code violations. Well, now that complex has been torn down. Tony Phillips with the Department of Planning and Community Services is here now. And Tony, when did this demolition happen?
This is a project that's taken place over the last 30 days. It's been a long-term effort to deal with what was previously known as the Summer Tree Condominiums, a complex that was built in 1974 and over the last 10 or 15 years fell into disrepair and abandonment. It was really a plague on this community, and working along with the county's code enforcement division, the county attorney's office, and several other county entities, we were finally able to complete the demolition of this abandoned complex.
And I understand there was also asbestos in the complex.
There was an asbestos issue in that the buildings were constructed in 1974 and it was common to use asbestos materials at that time. However, as part of the demolition process, the contractor has to make sure to address those asbestos concerns, remove it in a safe way, and so that was done as part of the demolition. And so we've removed all of the asbestos that was contained in the buildings, and hopefully that mitigates any health concerns moving forward.
And Tony, remind everybody about some of the violations that led to this mass demolition.
Over the years, as the property was increasingly neglected, we saw increasing code violations. Initially, we saw things like unsecured buildings, vacant structures, dilapidated structures. Eventually, it led to the property literally becoming a dumping ground. There were over 8 tons of debris on the property, everything from household garbage to furniture. That, in turn, led to health and safety concerns, because whenever you have that degree of trash and debris, you have rodent issues, other problems that could lead to health concerns, and so it really became a problem in the midst of a thriving residential community.
And so now what happens to this property?
The property was demolished through a court order which allowed the county to come in to what is essentially private property and rid the community of this plague, this problem. The property is now retained by the property owners by law. However, there will be a lien against the property for the cost of the demolition. Our understanding is there is some interest by the property owners in redeveloping this. We'll have to see how that moves forward as the process goes ahead. But right now, the property remains in this condition, which is far better than it was previously, and we'll look to see what the future brings.
All right, Tony Phillips with the Department of Planning and Community Services. This has been a long time coming. Thank you so much for the update. Now, if you want to report code violations in your community, you can call the county TEL line at 404-612-TEL. Last week, we told you about a county housing program to help you take part in the American dream of homeownership. Well, this week, we have another option to tell you about. It's a program called the Home Ownership Program, or HOP. Kim Benjamin is with the Office of Housing, and she's got the details. Kim, welcome to Fulton Today.
Hi, Shania. Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell everybody about how this HOP program works.
Well, the homeownership program is a great opportunity to provide first-time home buyers or persons who have not purchased a property in the past 3 years. We give them down payment assistance to go along with the first mortgage requirement.
And are there restrictions on where the property can be located?
The property must be located in unincorporated Fulton County. They cannot purchase a property in the city of Atlanta, the city of Roswell, Johns Creek, or Sandy Springs. Also, primarily, the person cannot exceed a certain income limit based on household income size. Also, the participant must work with the participating lender.
And since these are foreclosed properties, how does it work in terms of the inspection process?
One thing that the participant must understand is that our program requires an inspection. We will go out and take a look at the property to make sure that it meets housing quality standards requirements. That's a key requirement for eligibility as well with regards to that structure.
And of course, you know, a lot of people want to know, how does your credit impact becoming a potential buyer?
Well, for the homeownership program, credit does not play a role for our program in particular. Our program primarily focuses on the things that I mentioned earlier. Household income is a big eligibility requirement. However, the participant must be approved for the first mortgage through the participating lender.
Always great information. Kim Benjamin with the Office of Housing, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Now, for more information on the HOP program, you can call Kim directly or you can email her. If you want to avoid the crowd for the July 31st election, you better act fast. Advance voting ends next week. You can cast your vote at the Government Center downtown and at the North and South Service Centers until July 27th.
These are activities that allow the voter more than one opportunity to cast their vote. It provides various ways to be convenient for them, for someone who has a busy schedule, that they don't just wait for the last day to vote, which is on the day of election, July 31st.
Absentee voting is also a possibility.
To vote absentee for the upcoming election, you're required to be a registered voter of the county in which you live. You may also provide a written request, and that written request can come in the format of contacting our office, or you may contact our website, or you may contact the Secretary of State's website.
To vote on Election Day, you must have proper ID. If you don't have a photo ID, you may get a free voter ID card at the County Registrar's Office or the Department of Driver Services. Now, you can get more information on polling places or voter IDs by calling Registration and Elections and the Secretary of State's website. And still to come, South Fulton residents give their input on proposed transportation projects. Hear what they have to say in our district-by-district coverage next.
Today.
South Fulton residents voiced their opinions about the future of transportation in their community, and North Fulton seniors show off their creativity. Here's this week's District by District coverage.
We begin in District 4, where seniors engage in creative exercises to keep their minds sharp and alert. Participants at the Benson Senior Multipurpose Facility learn different types of arts and crafts, including painting, calligraphy, and jewelry making. According to seniorliving.about.com, seniors who stay physically or mentally active can prevent or delay many diseases and disabilities, including dementia. Calligraphy is one of the most popular classes offered.
And the purpose is to introduce our seniors, one, to engage them in writing and to improve their writing, because calligraphy is the art of beautiful handwriting.
Well, I started with the first one because I used to teach second grade in a formal life and taught them how to print their ABCs, and thought calligraphy would be a good extension from that.
The Dorothy C. Benson Senior Multipurpose Complex offers art programs for seniors from July to September. For more information, you can call 404-705-4900 or log on to www.bensoncenter.org. In District 5, seniors are serenaded as they listen to the smooth sounds of the Patterson Jazz Group. This performance is a part of the National Black Arts Festival's NBAF annual celebration. James Patterson is the founder and director of the Clark Atlanta Jazz Orchestra. He has performed with jazz greats such as Dizzy Gillespie, Ray Charles, and Cab Calloway, and now seniors at the Harriet G. Darnell Senior Center.
We are extremely pleased that in Fulton County, the arts, the history and heritage of a diverse people is considered not separate from the total life of the community. And even though the arts of Black Americans is an integral part of the daily life of the community, we do celebrate during a special time of the year the unique contributions of Black Americans to this community and indeed to the nation and to the world.
The sound of music has been known to uplift and rejuvenate the soul. It is also used by some professionals as a method of therapy for people of all ages.
I think it's wonderful the fact that we're reaching out, that the people are reaching out, all cultures, and people are trying to get the music around to everybody, because music is international and it's a common thread throughout the world. And
for many years, Fulton County has supported the festival as a major contributor. The NBAF will host several events throughout the year, and for more information, you can log on to www.nbaf.org. And finally, in District 7, South Fulton residents provide input about proposed transportation projects. On July 31st, residents will get to vote on the transportation referendum known as House Bill 277. According to the Transportation Investment Act of 2010 fact sheet, if voters pass the 1% transportation sales tax, then 15% of the total revenue generated would be allocated to local governments for projects within their jurisdiction.
If you look at all of the money that Fulton County will be contributing to the referendum, and then you compare the projects on the final list that have been approved for North Fulton County as opposed to the ones that have been approved for South Fulton County, then that truly is the 85 to 15%, because we only get 15% return on our investment.
The last opportunity to vote early is July 27th. The general primary election will take place on July 31st. For more information or to locate a voting precinct near you, call 404-612-7020. With this week's District by District coverage, I'm Melissa Lewis.
Thank you very much. Now you can catch more of your commissioners at work all this week with a rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV. And up next, our seniors learn the benefits of walking. We'll explain. Stay with us.
watching Fulton Today.
Portions of the following segment are part of the Fulton County Common Ground Initiative. Common Ground, the county's comprehensive solution to the problem of health disparities in the community.
Our recent 100-degree plus temperatures was pretty hard on many of us, but especially our seniors. So helping seniors weather the heat is the focus of our Common Ground report. Our resident doctor, Dr. Patrice Harris, is here with some advice since we are still in the dog days of summer. Doctor, welcome back to Fulton Today.
Hi, Shania. Thanks for having me.
So, Doctor, why is it that our seniors are more susceptible to the extreme heat?
Well, seniors are more susceptible to extreme heat for three reasons. The first is, as we age, our body is less able to adapt to changes in temperature. In addition, seniors are more likely to have chronic illnesses, and some of these illnesses also cause a reduction in our body's ability to adjust to temperature changes. And finally, seniors are more likely to be on prescription medications, and sometimes some medications that we take can alter the body's ability to regulate temperature.
Talk to us about symptoms for heat-related illnesses.
There are really three major heat-related illnesses. Heat cramps, and that's when we have muscle spasms. That's usually due to loss of fluid, loss of some of the electrolytes, that's the sodium and the potassium. That's normally in our body. The second more severe form of illness is heat exhaustion. At this point, folks are experiencing moist, clammy skin. They may be sweating a lot. They may be experiencing headache, lightheadedness, dizziness. And finally, there's heat stroke. And this is the most serious consequence of being out in the heat too long. This is a life-threatening condition.
And doctor, can you explain to us which health conditions can increase the risk of heat strokes?
Well, if people are experiencing some of the milder forms of these heat-related illnesses, the first things to do is to get in a cooler climate in an air-conditioned area and make sure folks are drinking plenty of fluids. If folks are experiencing the more severe forms of heat-related illnesses, you should loosen someone's clothing. Again, first get them into a cooler, air-conditioned area, loosen their clothing. If they're conscious, try to get them to drink sips of water slowly, perhaps moisten some cloths and place the cool cloths on their body. Certainly call 911 if anyone is experiencing the symptoms of a heat stroke. It's important that they get medical attention immediately.
And what should our seniors do when it's been as hot as it has been?
Well, it has been really hot, and we want to prevent anyone, particularly our at-risk seniors, from getting some of these illnesses. So you want to try to get in a cool, air-conditioned area. Minimize the time outdoors. If you must be outdoors earlier in the day or later in the evening. Make sure you drink plenty of fluids and always have a buddy. Again, if you have to be outside, make sure you're not outside alone and you have a buddy in case you experience any of these symptoms. I want to remind everyone not to forget our pets. Pets should also have a cool area and lots of water. Certainly, let's remind everyone to not leave children or pets in the cars during these summer months.
All right, Dr. Harris, thank you so much for your time and for always looking out for county residents.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure giving health information to the citizens of Fulton County.
Now, in the event of extreme temperatures, the county's 4 senior multi-purpose facilities and its 15 neighborhood senior centers are open to seniors who feel their health is at risk from the heat. To find the one closest to you, you can call the Star Line. The list is also available online at fultoncountyga.gov under the Office of Aging. Now, one of the best forms of exercise for seniors is walking, but not in all this heat. Early in the morning is best.
Let's take a look at some of the benefits of walking. You look at
That's the advice of health educator Craig Waters, who promotes walking for wellness at the county's network of senior centers. The class at the Helene S. Mills Multipurpose Facility learned the benefits of walking are endless.
It helps to lower your risk factor in terms of diabetes, colorectal cancer, breast cancer, heart disease. It also slows down the aging process. So it contributes, there's a lot of health benefits to walking.
Waters urged seniors not to let the use of a walker or cane stop them from walking for exercise.
If you have a walker, use your walker to support yourself. A cane, use it to support yourself. And you can walk with a walker. Some people walk all the time with a walker. Some people walk with a cane. Use your support mechanisms to allow you to walk. Why? Because it's good for you.
These students couldn't agree more.
I walk, but I can walk more, and I will. I feel like I really need to do it. At my age, I don't want to be without being able to function and move around. I live alone, so I have to try to do things for myself, and I need to be able to do these things.
Our Health Promotion Division can tell you where to find a Walking for Wellness class and even walking clubs. You can also get the information on the Star Line. And finally, in our Common Ground report, the county's 13-week Healthiest Loser competition is over and the results are in. Fulton's Employee Wellness Committee offered incentives to encourage county workers to lose weight, and employees packed the evening exercise classes held in the Government Center atrium. The hard work paid off handsomely for the first place individual winner.
Let's bring on down Teresa Atkinson. Teresa.
The team award went to the Facilities and Transportation Department.
This really helps us live a healthy lifestyle, to help our families, help our communities, and so this is just tremendous.
The county manager congratulated everyone who participated and urged everyone to keep up the effort.
One less rib, one less scoop of potato salad, right? No salt, little more water. It's those things that little by little will help us all change our lives, help us live longer and stronger for one another and for our loved ones. So again, congratulations. I'm proud of each and every one of you for what you've done, and keep doing what you're doing.
The Wellness Committee intends on hosting another Healthiest Loser competition next year. So what does Coretta Scott King, the National Black Arts Festival, and children's books all have to do with each other? We'll tell you when Fulton Today returns.
You're watching Fulton Today.
One of the most popular county fitness facilities gets the renovations it deserves. The cardiovascular room at the Welcome Park has new state-of-the-art fitness equipment. The bicycles, ellipticals, and treadmills are the most favored. There is also a weight room that contains free weights.
This new equipment, it has been well welcomed. The folks over here have been asking for it for over a year, and we finally got it in, and they are really proud to have it.
The Welcome Park Fitness Center serves 50 to 120 people per day. Now that it has even more to offer, Parks and Recreation employees believe that number will increase.
I like the cleanliness of the facility. I think the staff does a wonderful job keeping the facility clean and ready for operation. The new and improved cardiovascular room is particularly great for me. I use it every morning. It gets me off to a good start to complete my day.
Welcome Park is located on Willie Road in South Fulton. To find out more information about the facility, call 404-612-4058. Well, reading was on the minds of youngsters as they packed a local library for the annual Coretta Scott King Awards Book Fair. The event promotes reading to children and is one of the major events of the National Black Arts Festival. A library card was all the kids needed for admittance and to receive a free book. They took full advantage of the opportunity.
If you can read, you can go around the world in your room, and the internet is wonderful, but to hold a book in your hand is a very special feeling.
I picked it out for Yusuf to be able to read with his dad and to share some moments in the evening, settling down, and something special for him and his dad.
The Coretta Scott King Book Awards Fair was created to celebrate the life and accomplishments of the late Coretta Scott King and her husband, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Again, for more information on the NBAF this year, go to their website. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to hear from you about the stories and programs here on FGTV. Go to our website to take a survey, or you can also email or call us. The number 404-612-8317. And the email address is fgtv.feedback@fultoncountyga.gov. You can also follow us on twitter.com/FGTV or friend us on Facebook. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis. Thank you for joining us. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.